Hello, welcome to another trade session review. Shalon Winter here. Today I'm going over, this one's Monday, August 1st, 2022. And as always, here is my risk disclosure. Trading futures is risky. You can lose all your money. So take a quick pause here and read over it if you'd like. And let me go ahead and get this out of the way. All right. So as I mentioned, today is Monday. This trade session, anyways, it's Monday, August 1st. And I'm going over the NASDAQ NQ, of course. If you followed me much, you know I trade the pre-market session. Okay. And I always record my 10-tick chart here because this is what's telling me most of the time what to do. The 30-tick chart. I also watch my 50-tick chart. That gives me a bigger picture of the market if we're in a big range or trending. And also the simplicity chart to actually tell me if I have an entry or not. Now, I want to note here. Okay, this trade that I do here, I start off, as I mentioned always, I start off by analyzing the market, seeing what's going on. I want to point this out. I'm going to pause here. You see this down here? These words. It kind of shades it out, but the order prints copier identifier does not exist. Please double check the identifiers and or F5 your chart with OP and then F5 this chart as well. If any of you have the Lorex indicator from Apex Investing, you know that when you load your charts, if your 30-tick chart loads before your 10-tick chart, then this can happen, or it's vice versa. One of them loads before the other one. Then you can get that notification on the bottom. All you have to do is just simply F5 this chart and refresh it again, your 10-tick. And I normally have that as my check every day. This particular day, I was running behind. As you can see, it's already 8:26 Eastern time as I'm getting on here. I'm already, have everything selected that I need to have selected, my accounts, my ATM, everything. But I did not notice this, so I would have F5'd it. And that's important if we continue to watch. So as we can see here, what I'm analyzing, it's playing. Okay. Here, looking from left to right, we have kind of this little bit of a zone right here, right? Then it ran up, ran down, kind of broke below it. And obviously you can see, we had a little bit of chop going on, left some nice little levels here, some order prints, and it's trending down, right? You can see that. It's pretty clear. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm waiting for an LRE because, as you know, I need the market to be trending for an LRE trade. And I'm just going to fast forward here just a little bit. Okay. So we come down, we hit this wall. I'm looking at this like, okay, we are pulling back. If we have some HD, that'd be great. We're heading in a downtrend. We've hit the wall, but if we can get, you see these clusters. I do like clusters a lot because those are areas of, where there's a fight, right? And that's why it gets choppy. There's a high volume of orders coming in. So if we hit it, and a lot of times the price goes and tests clusters, especially when you have double clusters like this. A lot of times they'll come down, test that level, and then bounce. In this case, we have this mini magnet, we have this wall, then we still have some more up here, so it very well could chop in this area, but I liked it if I get an LRE right in this area somewhere, then I'll take it to head back short. Now, keep in mind this down here that I'm showing you that I didn't notice is about to come into play because I take my LRE here, right? Hop in. There's plenty of room to take profit before it heads back into the wall. In this case, my stop is right on this mini magnet. Normally, let me pause it. Normally, I would just set it back a couple more ticks to be completely behind it. This one, I did not, because if I set it back a couple more ticks, then I'm still only a few more ticks away from this wall. And then I don't want to put it all the way behind the wall. That's giving way too much risk. And then if I'm behind the wall, I'm not too far away from these order prints. So, you know, this really wasn't the best. And there's a confirmation of another reason why it wasn't here in a second. So, you know, we're looking like, okay, they might set up a trapped Xbox short here, which would be great because it'd go the direction I need it to go. And right now, look, it's testing those double clusters. I figured that would happen. So I'm not panicking. I'm fine. You know, this is what in this area, if I took an LRE, I'm expecting it to test it and kind of, you know, hesitate a little bit. So, you know, it's a little bit of a winning position. It's getting caught up by this cluster here in the COI. It's got some HD now, which I'm liking. So, you know, I'm thinking I'm pretty good. It's not too bad right now. Sitting here, wait it out. This HD number's still building up. 160, looking better. Setting off another cluster here. This is, you know, now I don't like that it is looking like it wants to lay a mini magnet right here if it goes up, because that's not a good sign. Like a mini magnet right here where the ZOI and this cluster is, we'll probably shoot it up. Now we're at 200% HD. See, and I went ahead and moved my stop behind the mini magnet just in case, because I figured it's going to test this area. Okay, and I don't want it to just hit me here if it's testing this area and come back down. Now, I don't like this mini magnet that it just laid, though. I really don't like that. Still giving it a little bit of time, still letting it work some. I'm really not, if it wasn't for this mini magnet right here, I really still would like this. There's a lot of HD being built up. As I've said now, I already expected to test these clusters here. Now, it's taking its sweet time. And it's still coming up. It laid another double clusters and it's going up, so I'm not liking that. You know, if it laid these double clusters and came down, that's a great sign. But it laid the double clusters and continued up, so it's telling me the bulls are winning this right now. Lots of HD, bam, hit my stop. I'm out. I'm not going to keep moving my stop back, you know, like I said, behind the wall or anything like that, because there's no point of doing that. Now, pause. I look and I'm thinking, what happened here? I'm going to refresh my chart here in a second. So I'm looking, I'm like, well, let's see. Maybe it just wanted to go test this wall. Latest star low volume score here, bounced off the wall. Okay. Let me fast forward it. There's my refresh. Well, hold on a second. Okay, I refresh the charts here somewhere in a second. Okay, well. Okay, here's my loss. I pull up the simplicity chart, right? I got in where I was supposed to. I was on this bar, previous bar, saw online. There we are. Got in, came down a little bit, ended up knocking me out up here, right? Okay, that was the trade. That's the simplicity. Now it reset and it's setting up another short, right? Okay, setting up another short. Watching it for a little bit. Now here was another LRE. Just happened. Right on the other side of this wall, because we got a short here. Came down, hit the wall. Right? Came down, hit the wall. Bounced up. We have an LRE up here. I didn't take this one because it really didn't go down as far. Normally, I like the simplicity to be trending further. But in this case, it still wasn't that bad. But the main reason why I didn't take it is we have ODD right here on the bottom. Right? And then double clusters telling me this could turn back around. It might win, it might not, so I don't love it. Okay. So let's see. See what happens here. And in this case, it gave an SLZ off the wall as well. So that's pretty nice to help out the LRE to go short. Now, I refreshed. Okay. Look what we have here. What is this indicator? It's a Lorex, right? Where was my short? Right here. To go down. Right after the Lorex trade off that wall. Normally, I don't really like to go against Lorex trades because they are awesome, right? We know these trades are awesome. And most of the time, they're going to go for more than 9 ticks. Had I had my chart refreshed and noticed this was a Lorex right here, I would not have taken this short that close. If it gave me an LRE up here, then yeah, it's far enough away from the Lorex where I'd be willing to say, okay, we can come back down. But this was, look, a Lorex entry would be here. Normal profit targets right here for Lorex. And I got in my short right where the Lorex would be profiting. That's not very good, especially if it's a good Lorex. I'm not going to go right against it. I'll wait till it runs a little bit, then go against it. So this one could have been very avoidable if I had this detector. I didn't, without the detector, I didn't even notice it was a Lorex. So, carry on. That was a loss. We'll take it. Okay, now let me fast forward. We're still trending down. Now remember, so this one would have won, this LRE. I didn't like it because we had the ODD double clusters here. LRE was like right at the wall here, and I would have needed to come back down to about this wall. It's just too tight for me. It worked. The SLZ was beautiful with it. It was just a little too tight for me. You know, with the ODD, the 2 walls here, just a little bit. So now it came down further, and I was pulling back. Let's see, let's fast forward here. Okay. Here we are. We're still going. Just waiting. Now, I do want to mention. Okay, so now it's coming down, right? What do we have here? We have the deviation level, a mini magnet behind it, a wall, and a ZOI. This tells me this is a pretty strong area, right? So as this is coming down, I most likely want it to break, come back up and test it, and go back short. I do want to mention as well that I did have a beautiful target that I saw from the 30 tick chart right here at about 893.50 down here. So I figured the price would be going down to it if it breaks this. Okay. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, okay, if it breaks this area, then that target down there is where it's going to go. And a lot of times when I learned this from Lori, when I'm just watching the charts, even if I'm not trading, in my mind, I'm playing the mental game of where's it going? Where's the price going to go? Right? So if this got rejected here and the price starts heading up, where do you think it's going to go? If it starts heading up, probably up here. So look at this level. You got 3 mini magnets, ZOI up here with the thick wall. It's probably going to head back up in this area, right? If it gets rejected here and starts heading up, that would be my guess. Okay, but if it breaks down, I'm thinking, okay, if it breaks down, where's the target down here? Well, I had a nice target down there. So, fast forward it a little bit to see if it breaks. Okay, it's not breaking. See, and it laid another mini magnet there. So now I'm waiting. I'm just like, okay, I needed to either break this, or if we continue up, then it might come up to here. And if I get an opportunity to take it back up to there, then that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now, oh, look, it's breaking. So now that it's breaking, I want it to run down a nice little ways to tell me, hey, it's definitely breaking short. It's not going to just barely break it and head back up. It's definitely breaking short. So now as it's breaking short, I'm just sitting here waiting for a nice pullback to hopefully take an LRE right around that area again to continue back short, especially since I have that target down here. Okay. So look for targets. That definitely will help you if you look for targets. Okay, so it's going. Clear break. Now, I'm like, okay, it's broken enough. We have these ZOIs here, so obviously it's going to hesitate around this area. More than likely, you have to expect that. It might not. It might blow right through, but more than likely, you have to expect some hesitation around here. Now it's pulling up to my targeted area. You see how as this broke through, I already have an idea of where I want my entry to be. I always have an idea of where I want my entries to be already. And I'm just waiting for the price to get there. And when it does, do I have an Ellery? Yes or no? Yes, I take it. So as it's pulling back up, it's in here waiting. Okay, we got a nice little cluster there. We got a down bar. I don't like for it to get too choppy though, but you know, sometimes it does. And if the level that it broke is strong enough, I'll still take it anyways. Okay, so it's kind of moving around a little bit. Let's fast forward it. Okay, now it's heading back up to that area. Okay. Here we go. We're getting to my entry, and we got it. All right. Now, in this case, what I'm going to do, because I have a really nice target down here. Okay. I also, look how close to my, where's my stop loss? My 20 ticks. Right on that wall. So what do? I'm going to risk a couple more ticks to stay behind the wall. If it breaks that wall, I'm not risking any more. You know, if it breaks this wall, it's probably going to go up. If it can't break this wall, we might get us a winner. Now, in this case, what I'm going to do, because I really like that target down there, right? So look what I do. I move my profit target down to that target. The actual target was like 93.50, but just a little word of advice. If you have a target, like let's say the ZOI is your target, you don't want to put your stop loss, your profit target right on it. Because it could come down, get close, and go away. So I always put my profit target a few ticks above or below wherever I'm trying to get to. So in this case, it was like 93.50, which would be like down here, you know, where the target where I felt like the price is going to go. And then I put my actual target a little bit above in case if it doesn't get there. Now, not only do I have my my stop loss behind this wall, now what I'm doing on my trade management is I already know once price gets in this area, it's going to hesitate. It's going to have a hard time break it because we got a cluster ZOI, cluster, ZOI, ZOI. Could get a little choppy in here. So my thinking is once this thing gets down, if it comes down to around, it might not break this lower ZOI. It might not. I don't know. I have a nice target down here, but once it gets down to this area, I'm going to move to break even, right? Because I don't want to risk it. If it gets down here, I don't want it to just get rejected, come back up and take a full loser when I'm up by more than my normal 20 ticks, right? But I really have a strong target here and think it's going to go further. So if this does pass this ZOI, then I'll move my stop to lock in profit here, and then I'll try to trail it down. So I'm in this trade, and this one actually took quite a long time, to be honest. A few minutes, maybe like 5 minutes or something. A lot longer than normally takes my trade. Okay, so it's hovering around my entry. You can see I'm up 8, 10, 11 ticks. Lays another little cluster here. Okay, comes down exactly to this cluster, hits it. Does a little bounce. And I'm just waiting. Now I see if this bar closes down, it's going to lay a mini magnet here, which I like because that could help push it down, especially since it laid a mini magnet right there not long ago, the same. level, came back up, land a mini magnet, and come down. That tells me that can push down if that happens. Okay. Now, I'm going to fast forward a little bit through this trade because this one really did take longer than it normally does. So this bar did close short, left that mini magnet, which I liked. That's telling me, hey, this thing's probably going to push down. But I still have these clusters and stuff here, so I'm 110% expecting this to hesitate. So now it makes it here. It's kind of hesitating. I'm still going to give it its wiggle room. If anything, I could have put my stop behind this mini magnet to kind of minimize my risk a little bit. But still just waiting. Like I said, if you have a strong enough target, then you can sit through this a little more. If I didn't have that target, I would have taken my normal 20, 30 ticks on this one. But I have that target. All right, so now came back up, tested again. Now it's coming back down. As I mentioned, if this thing hits this ZOI, gets around this area, I'm more than likely going to move to break even. Because I don't want to be up 20, 30 ticks and then take a full loser. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward a little bit here. It's coming back up. A little bit of chop. There we go. Now, I actually didn't even get to move it to break even because as it came to the ZOI, it just started breaking through. So what I did is I went ahead and just moved my stop to behind this ZOI. Because if it does just come up and knock me out, hey, I'm fine with that. Look, I'm at like 8.5 points or something right here. So that's fine by me. But I have my target there. Now it's coming down. And as this is breaking, coming down, I want to start trailing it pretty tight. Because at this point, I don't want to give back a lot. See, I'm up 51 ticks now. I don't want to give back a lot. I want it to hit my target, but if I get knocked out on the way, I've already secured, I don't want to be up 50 ticks and then get out with a 20 tick winner. That's just too much for me to give back. Okay. So it's going. I'm just going to tighten up my stop a little bit. Still want to give it a little wiggle room, but I'm not wanting to give it back. So I throw my stop right here. I get out with like 53 ticks, I believe. Throw down my stop right there. 53 ticks, knocks me out. And comes all the way back up here. Right? Now, if I would have left my stop at break even, I would have never gotten stopped out. The problem is, if I took 53 ticks here, and I let it come all the way back up here, that's just giving back way too much because it's not guaranteed to run down, right? I would hate to break even if I was up 53 ticks. Oh my gosh, I would hate that. And that's when people lose all discipline. Everything can go out the window at that point. You say, oh my God, I should have took my 53 ticks. And then, you start taking dumb decisions. So that was that one. Now I'm going to fast forward a little bit. And as you can see, it in fact does come down. I think I was looking at something. So my chart skipped. Okay, so here's the simplicity chart. So you can see it in fact did come down and hit my target right here. It was 893.50. Right here was the target. But I had to let it come all the way back up against me, then go down and hit it. And I don't want to do that. And here's where I had, it was a mini magnet ZOI on top of a green eye zone on the simplicity, on the 30 tick chart. And that was my target. Now, as you can see, I got in here at the wall, stayed all the way through it, got out here. When it it made it down here, retraced, got out. Then it went all the way back up and came down and hit my target. And it still went for a little bit, but hey, I took my 53 ticks and done for the day. As you can see, here's the target. When it came down here, that's where I said, okay, it's going to go. That's my nearest target. It's going to be a nice target for it to go to. And that was it. It was now 8:43 in the morning. It was a pretty quick trading day. Started at about 8:25. So about 18 minutes or so. And that was it. All right, that's my trade session review for Monday, August 1st, 2022. Have a good one, and everybody take care.